deeper arcs on one character. Burn, you are known for just creating a variety of characters. So my hard-hitting question for you, Burn, is why have you like where's the commitment to one character, or why have you never done sort of a more like longer term arc on a character? Um, is there a reason? Is it just not your style? Does that mean that you have to? Just answer the question. What do you think?
Because I hate Grand Theft Auto as a game.
Oh.
I don't like the mechanics of the game and having to build RP around the game itself. When I don't have. Listen, contrary to popular belief that everyone and their mom thinks I have a dev panel, I do not. I do not have a dev panel. Sometimes I have a pocket dev though. Shout out Sky. But I don't have a dev panel, so that makes things a lot harder for me because I have a lot of like grandiose ideas and some stuff that I want to execute that can't really be executed within the confines of like the game. Like the game itself can be a little restrictive sometimes, and the day-to-day of the game is like, well, we only got theft and auto we could do, and a little bit of shit lording. It's hard to do overarching stories that don't involve the day-to-day grind, and I do not like the day-to-day grind of GTA.
Yeah.
And that burns me out. That's why I usually stick to like shorter, stupid meme characters or whatever. Because I just get burnt out way too fast. I mean I did do one long arc, I guess, which was the Joe Goldberg stuff, which was really fun, but that,
to be fair, critically wasn't very successful. No one thought it was good RP. A lot of people just, no one really looks at that as like, I wouldn't use that as your example, man. I'm kidding.
Hey, Demo, pull up the tweet where Chatterbox said, quoting some person that made a tweet about the Joe Goldberg arc, and it's like, that was absolute cinema. I think I remember seeing that getting glazed on Twitter.
Facts, bro. My chat was like, have you guys seen this arc? And I'm like, what is the Joe Goldberg arc? And they said, here's a bunch of links. And I sat and I watched the entire thing, and my jaw was on my desk of how fucking awesome it was, dude. It was so good.
Yeah, so like those types of stories are fun, but it also requires role players that are willing to do those types of stories, which unfortunately nowadays it's a lot of ADHD stimulant, bit to bit to bit to bit to bit to bit to bit. Bits are great, but like that's why I admire a lot of like the people that can do like one single character and expound upon that character and have the patience to keep going with that character, if that makes sense. Like Chatterbox, you've been able to explore both sides of, and I feel like you do a very good job, Glaze Alert, of blending like shitlord and serious RP. And I think it takes a very good role player to navigate those situations. It's of yes-anding certain things at certain times. Right? Maybe there's a serious moment. I got to be serious. I got to lock in.
Yeah.
Oh, we're shitlording. We're, I don't know, freaking driving clown cars into each other, blowing up things. That's funny. Whatever. XDD. You know, having that blend, I think that's kind of the meta right now with GTA is you honestly, if you're going to be playing every day, you have to blend both of those, which I feel like is hard if you're trying to do something more.
It took me time to learn. It did. Like I had to like.
Yeah, it's a whole other muscle.
Yeah. But like watching other people do it too, like was what helped me, right? Like it's just, you know, when you do it for so long, you kind of start to pick up on things, right? Because like it's very different. I'm very different the way I roleplay now compared to when I first started, right? Like when I first started, no one fucked with me, right? Now things are, I can have fun with everybody, which is really nice. But like, you know, it took a long time to learn how to kind of get with the groove of how the times of RP are changing, right? Because it's always changing, right? Compared to like, I don't know, did you play it in 2.0 Burn at all?
Yes, I did.
You did? So
That's when I first started playing, actually.
See, I played maybe the last 2 weeks of it, right? And then like, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, right? And then when I started in 3.0, it was like, things are like, you can find RP anywhere. Like there was just stuff happening like crazy, right? And then it started getting, that climax hit, and then it started going like this, right? And I'm like, it's getting more difficult and difficult and difficult to find things to role play around, right? Because like characters were leaving, right? And it was getting more just mechanical, right? So it's just, how do you make that work, right? Because
unfortunately, I feel like every server gets to a point where it just becomes gangs and gangs, and civs just get run off the city. And civs are what are the heartbeat of the city. I mean, Just think about 3.0 and how good Burger Shot RP was of people just role playing as fast food employees.
Early Burger Shot was
And not only was it amazing, but it also was a social hub. And for me, doing stupid bit characters, it always gave me a place or a location where it's like I know I can bump into people that actually just want to role play and just fool around.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, it's like everybody's speeding around 110, doing this, and that. I don't know where anyone is. Like, there's just so much things that have changed now. I mean, I guess there's the food court, but I don't think nobody really goes there anymore.
It's pretty dead.
And there's not really, I guess, social events that happen. There was a lot of social events that happened in 3.0, or maybe there's social events now, but people just don't really participate in them. Because I remember there used to be a lot of concerts and stuff. Shout out the old Pier days. I thought the Pier was a wonderful hub in terms of bringing a lot of people together.
Oh, that was with all those booths and stuff there, right?
Yeah,
the Pier was sick.
Yeah, that
and
was.
then they had the
really
farmers market, which, I mean, I guess it brought some life to Sandy. But I mean, the biggest thing was you had Burger Shot and the Pier so close together, so you didn't even need a freaking car. You could just run back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something I believe is just like I know that people are always like, oh, I want to bring like role play to like Sandy or to Polito, but I'm always of the opinion that like with the size of the map and the limitations of now people in the server, you actually really need to you need to have a dev restrict, like kind of like think about the map and then literally mark out like the hot spots and like draw lines between them, kind of like what you said, Burger Shot and the Pier, and be like, hey, these are walking distance, and like make it so that there's a very clear central area where there's always going to be people role playing. And if people want to expand out and do stuff elsewhere, that's fine, right? I mean, Chatterbox, you go up and do stuff in Grapeseed, right? But like, I do think they like actually need like a map designer, not to make a new map, but to literally just take the map, take a red marker, and like draw out like how they want players to initially move about the city and like where the hot spots are.
Because having those hot spots so close together made that flow of traffic consistent or like constant.
Yeah.
So you were always seeing new people.
Yeah, that was really nice. Like I also liked it, like, you know, like Burger Shot, like you have the main hub, then they had the Burger Shot on the Pier too, right? So like the employees could just move from the Burger Shot, and then when the market opened, you just send some employees over there, and then you have lineups there and people role playing there too. That was really, really fun. Like yeah, I was really sad when that all like kind of disappeared a bit.
Someone in chat said it is, and it is this. It's actually, you need like walkable city planning, but for role play. And then someone said, well, it's hard when the city's based off LA. Okay, pause. Los Santos it's based off LA, but it doesn't. You can walk across Los Santos. You can't walk across LA. Can actually walk a lot. Like, very different. Trust me, when you go to LA, this place is spread out. Anyways, I did have a question for you, Chatterbox, and I'll follow up with a question for you, bro. From something you said, which was like, when it kind of like, because you started off and said you didn't really know what you were doing. And I am curious, for both of you being, you know, again, Glaze Alert, we're gonna have a lot of Glaze Alerts on this podcast, but Glaze Alert, you guys are both like very, like no one's ever gonna deny that you two are like some of the best. When did roleplay like start to click for you though? Because like it probably wasn't always that way. So like what moments or like parts when you were role playing Chatterbox, what were you like, ooh, I'm like actually starting to get better?
I
know it's hard to like self glaze, but you know, if you had to.
I started to feel like I was getting better around the time where I met Baza. His handle was Baza Gaza at the time. He kind of pulled me into like a Dundee went missing. There was an arc that Dundee like vanished or something. Like I don't really know. I don't really remember what happened to him, but he was gone. And then they needed to find out answers, and they like sent Chatterbox to go kidnap cops and kidnap people for them, because I was really like good at it at that time, like just like finding people and like trying to kidnap them and bring them to places. And that's when I started to kind of learn like the more, oh, this is like they're playing out a story here, right? Like, and I never really done stuff like that before. And there was like some serious talks I was watching, and I'm like, oh. So and then I started to participate a little bit in it, right? And then I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun, right? And like I was like, okay, like, you know, like I was like, I can actually kind of role play. I'm like, I could do more than just like, you know, just chaotic shit. Like, but I'd still, even at that time, I was like, like, you know, I was whatever. I just kind of went back to SPS for a long time. It was more when the Valkyrie stuff started last year that I was like, this is a lot different than what I'm used to, and it like changed everything for me. Like in terms, because like she was like doing stuff that I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I've never seen something this deep, and I just kind of went with it. And yeah, it was basically 2024 that was like my the year that I actually was like convinced that I can do this in any capacity now. Like I understand how this works. So yeah.
Yeah. And Bern, what about you? I mean, like, because for instance, I feel like Chatterbox, I kind of like saw your glow up. I mean, of role play arcs that I've ever just watched on YouTube. I did joke about the Joe Goldberg one. That is one of, I think it's one of like two I've watched. It's that one, and it was the Raymond Chatterbox arc. So I kind of got to experience that. But Bern, you were always like, I knew you as just like a goat of role play right from the rip. So when did this start for you? When did you really feel like you were good at what you did?
The moment I came out the womb, baby, I was just goated at it. Now, I had some dicey moments back at 2.0. I didn't have prio, and I was in college, and the only time I could get in, because back then it was, I think, a 32 slot server. I would
Yeah.
have to get up at like 2 in the morning, right before the 3 a.m. or the AUS reset, just to have a chance to get in. And so I would wake up super early, try to get in, and if I got in, I would role play, and then if I didn't, I would go back to sleep, which was a wild semester. I'm surprised I still managed to live and pass and graduate, because there were some long nights doing some RP in the morning. But that's how I met Dundee, and I remember I was playing just a stupid Civ character named Norm Yoder at the time, and we had like bumped into each other, and he was shitlording as usual. But I remember him. He was saying, "Man, I don't know who this guy is, but he's amazing and he deserves prio. So if anybody is watching right now that can give prio, give it." And somebody was watching that could give prio, and they gave me prio. And then from there, so like honestly, a lot of things came into motion from not only Whippy did that, and then I ran into Space Boy because I was able to get into like the later time slots in like the afternoon, and so I got to meet Mel, and at the time, which was Space Boy's old character, which is now replaced. I mean, rest in peace, Mel. He was a
I remember
OG.
Mel.
Yeah, but he was like crazy shitlord, and he would mess with my character all the time, and we bonded a lot through that. And he also helped me, I think, get a prio bump from there, and then it became a lot easier. But in terms of like me realizing, like, I guess a glow up or whatever, man, I hate to mention the Joe Goldberg arc, but I was doing a lot of like stupid bit characters and shitlords, and occasionally did some serious stuff with them. Like I think Sasuke was a good example of doing a lot of shitlord stuff and some serious stuff as well. I think I did a little bit with Johnny, but we'd have some stupid arcs on Sasuke, which was phenomenal, and I do miss it a little bit. But unfortunately, I don't think the server health is at the point where anime characters could run around and RP freely. But I think doing some serious RP and actually taking a shot at that and it doing really well was, I guess, me understanding that, oh, I guess I can. I'm not just a goofy guy. I can be a little bit more serious or tell an actual story. So I guess that I don't know. Oh, the real answer is I role played as a bush one time on April Fool's Day, and people watched that. So I think that was when I realized I could do just about anything. There'll always be somebody to watch something stupid.
You role played as a bush? As a bush?
Yes.
No
Yes, I
way.
did.
I wish I got to see that one.
The two great glow ups, the Joe Goldberg Giga Sirius arc and the Bush. You know what was cool was and you know, again, glaze alert here, but the Joe Goldberg arc was also just cool because it was really well done, and it was I think there's a lot of serious RP that's not, you know, where it's like serious, like some serious crime stuff going on, or maybe it's like a serious relationship arc, but like that was like a you know, it was relationship-esque, but like it was kind of like a disturbing arc. Like it was like it was psychological horror, which was awesome to see done.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of that required, like, I had to do some offline RP. I remember I had like DM'd like Foosley, and I think Ray. I was like, "Hey, is it okay if I am able to stream snipe you just so I can know where you are. because otherwise I'd just be kind of wondering there was a couple moments where I did just kind of bump into them, but I just wanted to create moments. I was like, listen, I don't want to be walking around Los Santos trying to find them. I'm just gonna make this a little bit easier. So so I just DM'd. They're like, yeah, go for it. So yeah, I did a little bit of third partying. What
Hey,
can I
but
say?
you
Did
made it
create
awesome
cinema?
with that, though.
It
yeah.
did.
Yeah, you did. I was
mean,
super
that-
invested when I watched that, dude. I was like, whoa.
I mean, that also goes to the like, I mean, and I this is another sort of topic and question to follow up then with you, Bernard. So you even mentioned, hey, I don't have a dev balance, stuff like that. I mean, we talked about this a good amount last week, which is yes, the nature of GTA roleplay is improvisational, but like you said, sometimes it is nice to have a little bit of setup, right? So it's like whether it be stream sniping someone just to know where they are so that you're not meta wandering around a city for hours and then maybe you don't even get to that part of the story, or it's a dev spawning in some things that allow for an event to occur. What do you think is like what are your thoughts on like that balance between keeping it improv versus having not, I wouldn't say scripting, but light guardrails or other sort of things to help certain stories along?
I think as long as it's not providing an unfair advantage for you to progress in the game itself, or if it's purely RP focused and RP oriented, and the entire objective of you using this power or giving you these items is for roleplay, then I think it should be used. But I guess the caveat of it is because not everybody has like a dev menu or a dev pal. You don't get those moments as often, so you end up appreciating the time that people spend when they do get to have those moments, because it makes it more special because it doesn't happen often.
Right.
So I don't know if everybody had a dev panel or more people had dev panels or people had like pocket devs to do stuff, would that take away from the experience? I don't know. But I do think there's a lot more RP that can be created with the help of devs that makes it a lot more special. And kind of breaks the chains of the mechanics of Grand Theft Auto, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.